Let's face it, in the battle of good versus evil, good pretty much always wins. That's in the movies, of course. In real life, it's not so black and white. But what if we pitted good against good? The best of our superheroes against each other. Imagine Thor against Professor X, the Hulk against Phoenix. Could a shape-shifting mutant be any match for a man with super senses? Do you really think Wolverine would be a match for Iron Man? Well, that's what we'll find out today in this battle of good versus good, the beginning of a terrible relationship. First of all, as some of you superhero nerds will know, the number of actual people that have been part of the Avengers or have been called an X-Man or X-Woman is so large that if we were to virtually fight each and every one of them against each other, we would likely be here until the end of time. Since the 1960s, the Avengers has included close to 100 members, including the Guardians of the Galaxy that traveled back in time and became honorary members. Comic Vine puts the number at 92, but we think it's more than that. There have been way more X-Men in the comic books over the decades too, so you do the math. For every character to fight every other character once, well, we simply can't do it. For them all to go at it at the same time would be chaos. What we can do is choose what we might call some of the most famous characters from the movies that have come out in recent past. We all know these characters well, and we know what they're capable of. If we told you we were going to do a virtual face-off with She-Hulk and Yellow Jacket, most of you, we expect, wouldn't even know what powers each had, although you could make an educated guess with the former. Today, we'll make this fight an easy-to-handle 5 against 5. The characters we've picked are as follows: X-Men, Professor X, Wolverine, Phoenix, Mystique, Iceman, Avengers, Thor, Iron Man, the Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow. We are sorry to leave out the foul-mouthed anti-hero Deadpool, but we just don't think he'd get picked for this team by any rational person. So who do we put in the first death match? Well, we guess we'll save the most powerful until last, which you could say would be Professor Charles Xavier, aka Professor X. It's debatable who's the most powerful Avenger, but we'll go out on a limb and say that from this list of 5, it's Thor. Anything can happen in the comics and has done so over more than half a century, so we'll go on to the movies and the superpowers and strengths each character has. Okay, so on with the first match, Wolverine versus Iron Man. As they say in boxing, let's have a clean fight. Touch hands, back to your corners. Ding ding ding, round 1. Wolverine comes rushing out mad as a dog in heat with a case of violence-inducing rabies. He takes a swing at the rude half-man, half-robot with his adamantium bone claws, and Iron Man just takes off into the sky and shoots a few holes in the self-healing flesh of the crazy wolf. It could go on like this for a long time, so let's look at each other's capabilities separately. You might know Wolverine is a master tactician, a great martial artist, and he's more than good with a sword and a gun. He has superhuman strength, but it's not superhuman. It's that he can lift about 800 pounds. As you know, his skeleton consists of the substance adamantium, which is described by Marvel as a rare, artificial, and virtually indestructible metal alloy. Those claws of his can virtually rip through anything, including Iron Man, we expect. He has weaknesses though, and those include the fact that his super heightened senses can produce sensory overload. That's not good when you're facing a hail of bullets, rockets, and fire from something zipping around above you. There are also different types of adamantium, and some of them have before made Wolverine very sick. One more thing. He doesn't like water. If we put those strengths against Iron Man's, one thing that immediately comes to mind is that for Iron Man's own good, he has to fight at a distance. Wolverine's claws are more powerful than vibranium, the stuff Captain America's shield is made out of. As we said, we reckon he could penetrate Iron Man's suit. The thing is, Iron Man will just blast from the sky and Wolverine will get hit. He's been killed in the comic books many times before, including when a robot melted the flesh off his body so fast it could not regenerate. We just don't see Iron Man losing this. 1-0 Avengers. Phoenix versus the Hulk. Phoenix, or Dark Phoenix when she's a villain, used to be called Jean Grey. Some have said she's more powerful than Professor X, but we're not buying that baloney. Her, or its, powers are very remarkable. She can fly at supersonic speeds, lift thousands of tons, and has the powers of telepathy and telekinesis. That means she'll know what the Hulk is thinking and can move the things around him to hit him with. As much as we like the angry green man, we don't think he's any match for this woman one-on-one. His bio tells us he's super strong and can lift 100 tons, but that's not thousands of tons, is it? Yep, he's virtually indestructible, but if this were a fight to the death, you can be sure he would be the one pushing up daisies in the end. Some people say the Hulk cannot be killed, but he can. And as Phoenix has superhuman powers to mess with minds, we wouldn't be surprised if she could change the Hulk back to human form. Avengers 1, X-Men 1. Mystique versus Captain America. We'd like to think of this matchup as a bit more down to earth. You've got Captain America, the man with the shield who comes across as just a good old American soldier boy. Then you've got Mystique, a girl who had a rough upbringing and then came good when she started enjoying her shape-shifting routine. It's a difficult matchup, this one, because Mystique's best gift is to change into another shape. She's also got regenerative healing power, but not as good as the Hulks or Wolverines. She can be hurt. She's also super agile, but so is Captain America, but he is more enhanced than superhuman. We don't see him beating the likes of his compadres in the Avengers. He also has regenerative healing power, likely about as good as Mystique's, but for this matchup, we just see Captain America as having a bit more firepower, especially with that shield of his. Mystique's greatest gift is not full-on attack, and a deathmatch is not her ideal place. She's a team player. Avengers 2, X-Men 1, Iceman vs. Black Widow. The character known as Iceman doesn't shy away from lauding over his own abilities, once saying, "I've stood side by side with the toughest, most powerful heroes in the known universe, and I've always held my own." But would he hold his own against the spider with the wicked bite? The killer spy says there's no one who can sneak up on her, and if they do, she is an excellent martial artist. She's had the upper hand against Ant-Man in a scrap, zapping him with her electric shock bite that is super powerful. She not only has those weapons, but countless other guns and explosives, as well as Batman-esque utility suits. But would this stop Iceman? Well, like Black Widow, he doesn't have superhuman strength, but what he does have is the ability to generate extreme cold. He can turn things to ice, but he can also generate ice platforms beneath him, as well as make himself into an icy giant if enough water is around him to absorb. So you have electricity versus water. It's a hard call which would win, but as electricity travels through water, we expect that Black Widow can get under Iceman's skin. 3-1, Professor X versus Thor. Now for the battle of the champions. Thor has so many abilities there are too many to recount. He is almost indestructible, and when he has been killed, he's been brought back to life by his godly father. He can summon lightning from the sky, which can be used for weapons or armor. He has his hammer and the energy of the heavens. He is a god. There's not much he cannot destroy with his hammer once it's been charged with lightning. He's basically a perfect fighting machine. So how well would he do against an aging man confined to a wheelchair? Well, this is no ordinary man. He's the Prof, the man in the big seat. He can get into people's minds and control him. He can read their thoughts. He can disappear using his telepathic cloak. He can put you to sleep and even mentally paralyze you. He's even got into the mind of another person when he has been destroyed, thus becoming his enemy. If he doesn't need to resort to that, maybe he'll just use a psionic blast to cause you considerable pain. He is the controller, and very much like a god. How on earth do you beat a man like this? Well, the answer is in the question, because Thor is not earthly. If anyone can beat Professor X, it's a god. It's a hard call, again, especially when you see that Thor in the past has resisted mind control, but also fallen victim to it. In one story, Red Skull manages to steal Xavier's brain and use it to gain control of Thor's mind. The question has been asked online numerous times as to who would win this fight, and it seems most people think it's 50-50. Could Thor hit Xavier before Xavier can get control of his mind? Could Thor resist his remarkable mental strength? Could Thor summon something from the skies to prevent him from being paralyzed by the Prof? Our opinion is that the Professor would be too much for Thor, and he would indeed get control of his mind and have Thor kill himself with his own powers. He would turn his strength against him. In this match, brains win over brawn, even if Thor does have lightning on his side. The final result is 3-2 Avengers. As for the whole teams, well, this has been played out in the comics in the past, utilizing various characters, and throughout history there have been wins and losses for each side, as well as draws. Votes have been cast online, and it seems most people also have this as a draw, or rather, about half the voters voted for one or the other. As we said at the beginning, it's also hard to call, because who from the hundreds of heroes make up the core teams? Many people have pointed out that the Avengers do seem to have the strongest heroes overall, but then when you have Phoenix and Professor X, well, that's some duo to contend with. So we think we'll ask you now, who would win? Tell us your answer and why in the comments. Also, be sure to check out our other video, You vs. Deadpool. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.